The fate of 1.5 crore students hangs in the balance. Their future dependent on the whims of the Central Board of Secondary Education.
By the time the result is going to be out, the seats which are children expecting, they will go away.
Because see, as my daughter, she has applied for UK and she's already given a 90% predictive score. Whereas now if she gets 85%, she won't be getting a scholarship, or maybe she won't get admission in a good university.
As the students anxiously await their results, the board fights in court against the moderation policy that grants grace marks to students falling short of the pass mark.
We are against this plea of CBSE, which is against moderation. Moderation is the right of students and they must get it.
The uncertainty over the policy clearly impacting the announcement of results and in turn the admission process for the next year.
If you're taking such a huge decision, either you plan it before, because there will be consequences to it, especially if you're announcing it during the exams.
People who get more than 90, they do not really get grace marks, and people who are like in 80s, they get more. And like that leads to a difference between people who score above 90 already and people who reach 90.
So the board does have a limited amount of time, because some students, we need our results before to send them to colleges abroad and stuff. So then we don't have a lot of time, and then it's frankly impossible to see the board checking the exams again.
The HRD ministry on its part gave the customary assurances.
CBSE का रिजल्ट समय पे घोषित होगा और उसके बारे में CBI डेट बताएगी, और मैं इतना ही कहूँगा, जो कोर्ट में से एक फैसला आया उससे कोई चिंता की बात नहीं है.
But why fight over the moderation policy days before the crucial results?
Moderation, again I tell you, it is a very tricky thing, I tell you. Sometimes you can say that, yes, it helps in rectifying errors in certain areas. But the other students who are affected, if they think, definitely it is not a good thing.
Amid all the furore and the indecision, it is the future of these students that will be affected the most. Mirror Now report.
You're watching the Urban Debate in Mirror Now. This evening we're looking at why the government is dragging its feet, why the CBSE board is seeped in so much confusion. 15 million students across the country were expecting to see their 12th standard results today. They didn't get to see their 12th standard results today because the CBSE board is confused about what it's supposed to be doing. There is a lot of confusion about something called moderation or grace marks, where someone who's passed most of their subjects and needs 2 marks maybe to pass one last subject is given automatically those 2 marks. Someone who has hit 89% and could be given a little bit to hit 90% and reach a different category is given that 90%. Now there's some confusion about whether or not that grace mark should be made available this year as it has been in the previous years. And the High Court got involved. Once the High Court got involved and told the CBSE board that, listen, don't do it this year. Don't change the rules of the game when the game has begun. Do it next year. A perfectly reasonable thing for the High Court of Delhi to say. But the CBSE board has now sat back and decided it will approach perhaps the Supreme Court. Whether or not it decides to do so, what we have as a result, 15 million students across the country holding their breath, stressing out, not knowing what to do. Parents of 15 million students also stressing out. To make matters worse, imagine this, these students have to apply to universities. They're going to miss their deadlines. They're going to have to apply to universities overseas. They have scholarships pending. What happens to all of that? Who will take responsibility? And if the CBSE board decides for some reason to change the rules of the game, will they really remark and reassess 15 million papers? How long is this going to take? One also wonders why the government and the HRD ministry doesn't step in. There's confusion about how this board should be marking its papers. There's confusion about how this board should be conducting its NEET exams. There's confusion about school fees. It seems like the CBSE board is falling apart. And the HRD ministry of India, which should be stepping in and clearing the air, is not doing so. Simple question to ask. Why won't the CBSE board commit to a date of results? Tell us when the results are going to come out. Stop leaving people in this sort of frustrated limbo. Why won't the CBSE board bring in some transparency in how it grades its papers? Why won't it get its act together? That's the question we're asking this evening, and our phone lines are open because there are so many distressed parents and children across the country who want an answer from the government that runs the CBSE board. Joining me on the show this evening, Anila Singh, spokesperson of the BJP. Dr. Jayanti Dutta is a psychologist. Avisha Kulkarni is an advocate and an education activist. Aditya Menon and Palak are students right now who are awaiting their results. And Vithika Rahul is a CBSE councillor. We'll have the students join us in a little bit. I want to start, of course, speaking with Vithika Rahul. Vithika, so much confusion when it comes to results. It's obviously unhealthy. Why won't the CBSE get its act together?
See, the basic idea of taking out this policy was to give a stoppage to the kind of hikes that has been created by these universities. See, universities have very limited seats, but the number of students who are applying is much more than that. And when we see the cutoffs, a mediocre has absolutely no place. Now, this was the very basic idea why this particular rule was taken out. Yes, I agree, possibly it should have been done when the students were applying for the examination and orders are not, or the rules are not changed afterwards. So, though the purpose was very good, but it has taken a very ugly toll.
Well, I want to bring in Anila Singh. Anila Singh representing the BJP. Unfortunately, again, we don't have a representative of the Education Ministry here. Anila Singh, I don't understand why Mr. Prakash Javadekar, who is the HRD Minister, doesn't step in and clear the air. Why doesn't he come out very clearly and say this is the date when the results will come in? There's obviously tremendous confusion when it comes to this board.
No, there is absolutely no confusion, and Mr. Prakash Javadekar, he has said in very clear words that results will be in time and there won't be any delay. So there is absolutely no confusion about the results.
Results were supposed to come out today. The fact that they haven't come out today obviously means they are not on time. What does he mean by results will be on time? If the results were on time, they would have come out today.
They definitely are going to be declared on time only, because I don't think so CBSE had declared 25th May as the result day, and the ministry as well understands that the class 12th students, they have to appear and they have in different competitive exams, and they have to take admission in unis also for undergrad courses. So Mr. Prakash Javadekar, he has confirmed that students, they need not have to worry, and the results will be there and they will have enough time to appear in competitive exams and take admission in universities as well.
Dr. Jayanti Dutta is a psychologist, and Dr. Dutta, we have enough cases of students who wind up being so stressed out about their results that in most cases they have parents also who are extremely worried. What is the result really when the government drags its feet in this manner and mismanages the situation in this grave manner?
It's not only a case of mismanagement, it's a horrendous folly on the part of the HRD ministry. I think it's high time, it's a very crucial kind of a thing where so many children are involved, you know, so many kids whose future is involved, and you are playing games with them. You know, you should have taken the call. If you had to make some changes, you should have done it before. Why jeopardize their future when you don't want the grace marks to be given on any kind of changes? Were you sleeping till the 11th hour and you all of a sudden got up with a jerk and you said, all right, this is going to be happening? Why play havoc with the future of our young kids? You know, this is the crucial decision of their life. It's a crossroad where even every year we read news, the children take away their lives, you know, they kill themselves, they attempt suicide. There are so many suicides happening, and the board exam is not such a thing where you can take this kind of callous judgments and, you know, impose it on the future of the children. I think it's the worst kind of thing one can do. If you have to make some changes, for heaven's sake, sit back, give your rationale and do it before, not at the 11th hour when the children are expecting their results. You are playing really a very bad game with these kids.
Well, that's very well said, and I want to point out for our audience that this entire conversation about moderation started in June last year. From June last year till today, why didn't anybody step up and decide what to do? Anila Singh, does the government not realize what's at stake here? Does the government not realize?
No. I have the point.
Yes.
Moderation is not something which is happening yesterday or today. It's been there for decades. Why all of a sudden you change the pattern? If you were changing the pattern, you were denying the moderation, you should have had the blueprint much before. Should have been implemented it much before, so the children didn't have to suffer. You see, somebody pointed out, if you are seeking a foreign admission, you're going to be jeopardized. Why? For whose fault?
And can we afford, it's absolutely ridiculous, can we afford for these children to lose an entire year, to lose their scholarships, to lose their admissions into universities? How are they going to explain to universities overseas that their results haven't come out yet, that they don't know whether they passed or failed, they don't know what their actual result is going to be? Anila Singh, it obviously seems like the government has not understood the gravity of this situation. You have not taken these children seriously.
CBSE and 32 other boards, they have taken this step, and High Court has stopped their order. So it is sub judice. What is my voice is echoing back. So can you get it corrected?
We'll get that fixed. And let me just point out to you, the High Court has called
Mr. Javadekar.
Yes, for the benefit of our audience, on the 22nd of May, the Delhi High Court called the CBSE's move to scrap moderation unfair and irresponsible. The High Court went on to say rules cannot be changed after the game has begun. So I don't understand, why is the CBSE board insistent on changing the system right now? Change it next year. Give these students their results. What is your problem? I don't understand. Nobody has been able to explain to us why the CBSE board is insistent on changing the rules right now when we are awaiting results. Anila Singh.
Now, your question is that they should not stop grace marking, or your question is this is not the right time to announce that no more grace marking will be there?
My point is that this is not the right time to make any changes. This is the time to give these students their results. I don't understand what is the need to make a change on such a last hour.
So you are questioning that it is not the right time?
Yes.
So you're questioning that it is not the right time, and because of this results might be delayed and students might suffer and they may not sit for the competitive exams, and they will be delayed for admission, etc. thing. So as I said earlier, the results will be in time, students will be able to sit for the exams, they will be able to apply for the unis, for the undergrad courses, and they will be able to, and they must have already applied for these scholarships. And sorry?
So you're not giving me any answers, Anila Singh. You keep saying that it will happen.
If you're asking, these kind of whimsical decisions, nobody should be allowed.
I have just told you,
these whimsical decisions, whether it is CBSE or anybody else, HRD Ministry, one should not allow this. One should not allow. You have no right to play with the future of our children.
They have scrapped this policy.
The CBSE board reports directly to the Union HRD Ministry. The CBSE board answers to the Union. The boss of the CBSE board is the Union Minister of HRD, Mr. Javadekar. He has to step in here and make sure that he clears the air and make sure that he prioritizes these students, which he is not doing. He's giving us vague answers. He's giving us vague responses saying, don't worry about it. Don't worry about it. The results will come. I don't understand why you can't commit to a date. Tell us the results will come out today, tomorrow, the day after tomorrow, next week. Give us a date and give us a commitment.
I need another clarity. Are you going to give the grace marks or not? This is a process, this is a method which has been on for so many years.
In time, and students should follow their future plan in time. So that should be a concern, and your concern is absolutely right. And it is being taken care by the government, by the board.
The government is not taking care. I'm sorry, government is not taking care at all. Certainly not. 11th hour, you're not sure.
No, you can't
whether
question
grace
government
marks
like
is going
that. You want to say that government is so careless, they are not bothered about 1.4.
If you come up with these
That's exactly what we are saying, Anila Singh. I'm saying the government is so careless that they don't care right now about 1.5 crore children, 15 million students holding their breath right now for their results. How can you turn around and tell me that the government cares?
When he has said that results will be in time, then you should have faith in the government. You should have faith in the minister.
Okay.
HRD minister himself.
Okay, listen to this. One second. Just give me a minute. Give me a minute. You want me to have faith? You want me to have faith? One second.
I have a very valid question here. Are we talking about moderation or are we only talking about grace marking here? See, we understand that both these things are little different. I want to know whether we are only talking about grace marking or we are talking about moderation as a whole.
Anila Singh?
If we are talking about moderation, definitely it will bring about the result.
Audio is not clear, so you have to tell me what your panelist is asking.
Wait, I want to first bring in some voices. That's a very valid question, Vithika Rahul. But first, let me bring in some voices. Shailaja is on the phone line from Delhi. Shailaja, go ahead. We can hear you.
Please, I just want to know why there is no consistency in the policy. You know, when the question papers were written, there was one policy. When the children prepared for it, there was another policy. And then when they are being evaluated, then you follow another policy. And when the results have to be declared, you already change the rules of the game.
I agree.
This is something you are playing with the future of the children.
Of course,
they have to make their careers. They are being made, jokers. And we do not know. Everyone is losing faith in the system.
Losing faith in the system. Jai Krishna is on the phone from Bangalore. Jai Krishna, go ahead.
Hello. Hello.
Yes, Jai Krishna, we can hear you. Go ahead.
First of all, I want to ask whether they're gonna. Excuse me.
Jai Krishna, we can hear you. Go ahead. What do you want to say?
The consistency in the policies, we are unable to know exactly.
Okay, you want consistency in the policies. Losing faith in the system. Aditya Menon and Palak Modi join us right now. They're students. And Anila Singh, I want you to hear what they say because these are the lives that are being impacted. Aditya Menon, Anila Singh wants you to have faith in the system. What's happening with this delay with you and your friends? How are you reacting to it?
Well, I don't know exactly what to say right now because we were told that our results would be out by 21st. But then after that, we see the news. We don't get any updates about this from any other place. But then we see the news and then we are told that, no, like your results are not coming. And then they give us another shock saying that, the way that they have been correcting the papers for us seniors and them before, it'll change. And frankly speaking, for 2 years, we have been prepping the way that we had been told to by our teachers. And in many ways that involves that, the portion that we have been giving, the portion that we have been studying, you can't study, you can't give 100% to each topic. So basically we were prepared that, this is more important, so you should do this first. But then by now, if by the time they're talking about marks moderation and all, it gives us the chills because maybe I have attempted a question about probability that I didn't know. But I have attempted, I know that I might get 3 marks, but now I'm told that no, you might not because there's no grace marks. There's no marks for attempting the questions. Maybe...
Aditya, do you believe it's fair to change the system right now?
It would have been for the next batch if they were told 1 year before, but not for us. We didn't even, there's no option for us. We can't do anything about it. Right now, this debate, it's about adults talking. Where are the children? We can't do anything about it. There are like 1.5, there are lots
1.5 crore, yes.
There's 1.5 crores of children who are just sitting there. They can't do anything about it. What will they do? They can just sit like us at home, see the news, and then await the results. But that's not fair.
Yeah, it's not fair. Palak Modi, how are your friends handling it? What are the conversations that you're having with your friends right now? And is it true that you received no official information from the school at all?
Yeah, I agree. We had got no official notification. Second thing is what he said, results were supposed to be out on 21st. Next thing we know, results are supposed to be out on 24th May. And one thing I don't like about CBSE is there's no official notification on the CBSE site. And as he said, grace marking, see, if you give prior intimation 1 year prior, at least students have that mentality in mind that, you know, they have to attempt a full question and it has to be correct. For us, we may be hoping that somehow we may get 1 or 2 marks extra. But now we are anxious because again your college admissions are disturbed. Second thing, students will be applying abroad because some of my friends, they are going to be applying abroad. So for them, you know, it is going to be a big, it's not going to be fair to them. Again, entrances are going to be affected because like for medical entrance, I can tell you if again if a government policy comes that 12th marks are going to be counted, you know, many students take a drop for engineering and medical entrances. So because of this moderation policy, it's not going to be fair to them because even a drop in 1% can result in a drop in a lot of ranks. And,
so tell me something, Palak, what is at stake? What is at stake for you and your friends right now, for the ones who are applying to universities? What are the dates for universities? Are universities willing to understand the delay?
Universities won't because they have to have their admission started at the right time, right? So like he said, 1.5 crore students, what can we do? We just have to sit and await the results. And till the time CBSE doesn't declare the result, we can't do anything. But the university will carry on with the admissions. So it's going to be affecting lots of admissions all over the world. And second thing is, you know, many boards follow CBSE policies. And many boards won't be releasing marks till CBSE marks are released. So it's not only the CBSE students, it's going to be affecting all over, you know, it's going to be affecting many boards all over the country. That's what I feel.
Appreciate. Can I come in?
Yes.
Appreciate the crucial crossroad these kids are standing on and the kind of anxiety all of these young minds are having. It's not their fault. It's not their folly. It's the folly of the people who are sitting at the high up chairs to make the formulations and the laws and the rules. Why can't you make the rules keeping these kids in mind so that they don't have to go through this anxiety? You know, these kinds of anxieties would definitely affect their performance. Wherever they are, whatever exams they are taking, whatever entrance they are appearing for, they don't deserve to get this kind of a panic scenario created by the people who are at the top and who have been behaving in an irresponsible manner. You see, you change the rules at the last minute, which is absolutely horrendous. If you ask, you should have faith in the government, you should have faith in the decisions, you should behave like that.
Wait, I want to bring in Anila Singh. Anila Singh.
There are two things. Can I say something? There are two things.
I'll come back to you. I want Anila, one second. I want Anila Singh, who represents the government right now, to respond to these students who have come in and so articulately told us what is going on for them and their classmates and the kind of stress that they have to go through. Now, we know that this is a very stressful period in a student's life anyway. Is there really need for careless government policy to add more stress to their lives? Doesn't this, Anila Singh, reek of incompetence? Or it's either incompetence, the inability to do their jobs, or you simply don't care? Which one is it, Anila Singh?
See, you can question mark government's competence if the results are not declared in time. Even you are flashing time and again that minister has said that results will be in time. So there is absolutely no need for the
please tell us what is in time according to the government and according to the minister. The minister has said in time. I want you to time very thankfully can be quantified in minutes and hours and days and weeks.
Very well understand what class 12 students have to do after completing their 12th. So government very well understands that what class 12 students have to do after completing their class 12. So they know it very well. They are going to go ahead. They are going to announce the results in time. So I can request all the youngsters, please do not get anxious. Your results will be in time. You will have enough time to apply and sit in your competitive exams and unis.
Aditya, is that a satisfactory
answer? What about moderation?
It actually feels
Where is the certainty about moderation?
One second, Aditya.
It feels very funny that you told that the government thinks about what the children want to do, but what feels actually funny is that the government is thinking about 1.5 crores of different mindsets about what they want to do. And it's that what's being affected right now, right? But a couple of days means a lot, because right now, there's a very emotional period too for many of the kids, because they are going through a transition in their life.
Absolutely.
But such a rough transition, like, do they actually deserve it? Do we actually deserve it? I don't believe so. And I don't think that there's any justification you can give for that.
Ma'am, you said
Not at all. There's no justification.
Even if they're going to be on time, what about the moderation policy that you have initiated at the last moment?
I can very well understand the...
Because see, I'll tell you, when I gave my papers, I was
I can only say to young men, I can understand that what he is going through right now, but have faith. Have faith. You are not a sufferer. This government is very well concerned about the education policy
I don't
as
see
well.
on what basis you keep asking people for faith. Anila Singh, Avisha Kulkarni, Avisha Kulkarni, do you believe that this board and the HRD ministry merits faith at this point?
Mr. Javadekar has said very clearly, you should have...
Anila Singh, you're just repeating yourself over and over again. Avisha Kulkarni, go ahead.
I want to say that I'm very surprised with the government's attitude towards this. Now that you have lost at the High Court, why are you hell-bent upon appealing in the Supreme Court at this juncture? Is your pride is more important that no, we have lost it, so we have to win it at the Supreme Court and prove it? Or you are more concerned about the future of these children? Is this the right time to say that no, we will appeal in the Supreme Court? So that means that the students have to wait till the Supreme Court results are out, and after that you will decide whether the moderation policy will stay or not?
How is that fair to students who already answered their exams?
Will the minister compensate for the sleepless nights which these kids are having, the kind of anxiety they are going through, the kind of stress they are exposed to? Do they deserve this kind of thing?
What is the need to go to Supreme Court in so much of urgency?
Yes.
What is that at last minute? Can they not do it?
And I want to bring in Vithika Rahul. Vithika, you said there's moderation, there's grace marks, there's a lot of things going on. But the truth is, these policies have been around for a while. There is no need to change them today. You could change them next year, change them for the new term.
I agree with what you're saying. What I'm trying to tell you is that if we arrange everything in a hierarchy, we find there are two things involved. One is delay of result and second is no moderation. Let us first focus. I think there is more anxiety, there is more restlessness because of delay of result. Moderation comes next. If we ask these students, because they have to send their grades to foreign universities, they want their grades, they want their final result for admission. So there is more emphasis on delay of result. There is more turmoil because of delay of result. This is what I am trying to say. Moderation is there, but moderation is not such a big issue just now. The issue is, when are we getting the result? The result that is going to decide what we are going to do next. Well, this is what I was trying to say.
Dr. Dutta, do you have, as a psychologist, do you have advice for these students right now? Because obviously the government has nothing reassuring to say. What would you say to them?
I would just say, forget about it. Try to maintain your cool. Please go back to your decided regime and stop worrying about it. This minister is saying result will come at the right time. Let's have at least face value. Let's accept that. As far as moderation is concerned, one of our young friends said she is much worried about the moderation. This goes hand in hand, you know. If you say no moderation, no nothing, and I'm going to declare the result, still these kids will be in anxiety and panic. Please don't panic. This is part of life. You are at the right time, right crossroad. So don't worry. If one thing is not happening right, rest of the things, let's hope. Keep your balance. Go back to your routine regime schedules, I'm sure, and keep meeting your friends, talk about it, and let's see what happens.
And one more thing, when we teach you in school, we don't teach you for moderation, we teach you to have belief in your own abilities and potentialities. And when you sat for the board exam, you had this belief. So be assured that you have done the best. Just forget about what is going to come next. Have a belief that you have done the best, and this is how you have been trained in the school, to face the challenge, giving your best having abilities, having potential. Self-actualize yourself.
Well, that's excellent. That's excellent advice.
I would say
yes.
This kind of changes, if you announce it, you cannot expect the children to keep their calm because, as I said, this is one of the major crossroads of their life. Some of the kids will go out and they will pursue with the foreign education. So in that kind of a scenario, I think it's high time government should take cognizance of it and not play havoc in their life. That's the minimum you can do. Don't come out openly. Moderation hoga, nahi hoga, CBSE karegi, High Court chale jayenge, Supreme Court chale jayenge. Why? Why you have to go to the court for deciding the future of our youngsters?
Well, you know, I want to ask Aditya Menon this question. Aditya, Anila Singh, who represents the government, and the Minister of HRD, who's in charge, has kept saying that it'll come on time, it'll come on time, it'll come on time. What is on time for you and for your friends? Given the deadlines that you have to meet of university applications, what is on time?
I have an entrance exam day after tomorrow, and I want to do marine engineering. Now, for many students out there who want to do the same as me, we know that for few of the applications that we have submitted, the only thing that is keeping it pending is a section called as 12th standard results. And it's like you have to upload it. And that's the only part when your application actually gets accepted. So basically, there are a lot of there may be other boards, there may be boards like ISC and all who might get their results on time. But you know, for us, basically, we are just waiting for, we don't even know if our applications are done. And I don't know if there's any point of me giving those exams anymore because basically for many children out there, they don't know how this is going to affect it. Like now, basically, there are a lot of elderly people who sit at debates and talk about this. But basically, you should think of yourself, think as a 18-year-old who is sitting in his house, who probably is not even watching the news because of the studying that he has to do. But you should just give it a thought that you're saying that keep your cool and your results will be there. But we don't know it. We just know that there's a big issue going on in the courts. We don't have any facts or details, probably because we don't have the time to actually get and read it. And probably there are 1.5 children.
Don't bother about it.
Palak?
I want to share a piece of advice to you, all my young friends who are seeing this program. You know, this much of a stress, use it in a positive manner and sharpen your skill and your attention for taking the exams. Sometimes this kind of a stress also, this is a stress, I accept, but this kind of a stress can also be used in a positive manner to harness your capability for facing your entrances.
Palak wanted to come in. Palak, go ahead.
Ma'am, see, I agree that what you're saying, your advice is nice and it is helpful. But I'll tell you, I have to give my entrance I have an entrance on Sunday for medicine. Now, the thing is, I'm very anxious about my 12th standard board results. And, you know, like he said, many universities, they are going to ask for these 12th board results. So what happens is, all those entrances remaining, students can't focus on it because all they'll be thinking about is how I've done in my 12th, will I be getting my 12th or not. And second thing is CBSE has this policy of releasing marks in the last week of May. So when you're saying that it will come on time, I think it's already the last week of May. When will it come? Because if it comes in the first week of June, there's no point because, you know, most of the applications have begun now. Admission procedures have begun. What will we do about the admission if we don't have a mark results, if we don't have a list? How are we going to apply? Because even when you release the marks, we have to go to our colleges, we have to collect the official certificates, we have to collect all the documents, we have to present them at the universities. So it's a big procedure for us. And you know, it's a lot on our mind right now because this is the stepping stone for our career. And it's a big thing for us. Even if we get a low percentage, at least we have a reassurance that we have the results in hand. Till the time the results are released, we'll just be thinking about it. And you know, the stress is going to be there.
We don't even know whether our results are finalized.
The HRD ministry can do, declare a date. Declare a specific date by which time your results will be declared. Announce the date. HRD ministry should come up now with the date.
I think, you know, there's a very important point that Aditya has made that I know Vithika was also making. Are you going to now re-evaluate Are you going to change the evaluation process? Are you going to do it now when technically the results should be ready to be uploaded? How can we even be considering this question at this point? It's completely outrageous. It's completely inefficient. And it reeks of someone who has gone nowhere near a school in the last 20 years. It means you have absolutely no empathy. You have absolutely no understanding of the education system and what these students are going through. So obviously the people running this system have no idea what's actually happening on the ground. They are fully removed from the system. I will bring in Dr. Jaggi is on the phone line from Delhi. We have our phones are ringing off the hook. Dr. Jaggi, go ahead.
Good evening. I have been the controller examination Delhi University, and I was the only person. Yeah, are you listening?
Yes, yes, we can hear you. Go ahead.
I was the only person involved in moderation of different papers, I think totaling 4,000 in number. And HRD Ministry or university had never any role in this, number one.
Okay.
Why this is done? This is done because in some question papers, in some subject, there may be out-of-course questions or difficult. So it is not need-based moderation. It is to overcome that situation because otherwise students opting for such courses will be at a loss.
But Dr. Jaggi, do you believe that the system should be changed now instead of just simply announcing those results?
It should not be changed now. It should not be changed at all because these students are worried, I know. But getting less marks, they will not be competitive in the long run. And where is the problem? Generally speaking, if a result is delayed by a couple of days, the last dates are generally extended. So I will appeal that blaming HRD Ministry or CBSE board is not proper because in Delhi University, I was the only one.
No, but Dr. Jaggi, obviously the results are delayed. Whose responsibility is it to give these students the
High Court? Yes, listen, if Supreme Court is seized with the matter, the CBSE cannot do anything.
But so Supreme Court is not listening to the matter. The High Court has already heard the case. The High Court has already said don't change anything, just give out the results. What is the need for the CBSE board to approach the Supreme Court now? They can choose not to. They can choose not to approach the Supreme Court.
They should not.
They should not. Ravindran is on the phone line from Coimbatore. Ravindran, very quickly, go ahead.
See, I'm Ravindran. I want to voice the concern that these people are playing with the students' lives. Why are they changing the rules now? What were they doing for the last 1 year? Why did they not wake up in the last year? Whatever changes they should have done in the beginning of the year. Why were they sleeping? What were they doing? Are they playing with these people's lives? Moderation policy should be implemented. They cannot change what was being following from 1992. Why can't they follow now and whatever they want to do it next year and announce the results on time? As it is, there was delayed because of the elections.
Right.
And now again further delay. And playing with these lives and going to the court, Supreme Court, High Court, all this nonsense.
Absolutely. Jaswant is on the phone line from Chennai. Jaswant, go ahead. Jaswant, can you hear me?
Hello?
Yes, go ahead.
This is Shweta.
Yes, Shweta. Go ahead, Shweta.
Yeah, I have a few questions. Number one, now if they are going to do moderation now, how long is it going to take to moderate like 15 million papers? Number two, so we have limited time. The actual results took like a month to come out. So we have to do moderation for all 15 million people. For all the 15 million papers, doesn't seem more like practical for them to just randomly pick out a few papers and just randomly add marks? It's not going to be proper moderation, is it, with such a limited time? Number three, some other state boards have already released their results. And like in my state, most of the seats are already filled in the colleges. What will happen to us CBSE students who we still haven't...
Yes. How can you, and I want to bring Anila Singh, you said have faith in the government, have faith in the board. This is the same board that also conducted the NEET exams. The NEET exams are a colossal mess. They gave out different papers in different states. The Tamil Nadu, there is a case pending in Madurai. There is a case, there's a problem in Bengal. There is a problem in Gujarat. There are various cases that have gone in. 1 lakh students answered the MBBS and the BDS entrance exams. And now there is a possibility that the Madras High Court might stay the results of these exams because the CBSE board messed it up. The Supreme Court has refused to grant an urgent hearing to the matter. Now tell me, Anila Singh, on what basis should we have faith in this board and this ministry that has conducted 2 massive exams this year and messed up both?
Now, whatever answer I'm going to give, again you are going to say that, Anila, you are repeating. But again I'm going to say, like somebody like Mr. Prakash Javadekar, he is the minister, he is saying himself that none of the students is going to suffer because of the declaration of the result of class 12th CBSE board. And just now I was listening to the young boy and the lady sitting on your panel. I can very well understand that they are very anxious, and I can say that all students of class 12th in India, they are of CBSE board, they are anxious indeed. But again I am going to say that HRD ministry understands that what is ahead now, so please do not worry about it. You are questioning about the timing. I really wish
I have a question to you.
And they have to give their exam on Sunday. Are you going to declare your results before Sunday?
Declare the date. Plus, I have a question. I'm an academician with Delhi University for last 40 years. Where is the need for the HRD ministry for formulations of these policies to run to the doorstep of High Court and Supreme Court? You don't have the panelists, the academicians who can credit you and tell you this is how it should operate. Why do you have to? It's not a criminal kind of a thing for which you have to knock the doors of the court.
This is CBSE's decision. This is not...
The CBSE, the board has displayed its inability. The board has constantly displayed its...
You may question the timing right now, but on the timing, I can very well say that...
Anila Singh, the CBSE board has messed up the NEET exams. The CBSE board does not know. There is so much confusion regarding the marking of these exams. There's so much confusion regarding transparency in their process. There's so much confusion regarding school fees that they're not able to get a handle on. It seems like the education system is crumbling. The education system is the direct responsibility of the HRD ministry.
You say
there
that
has to
education
be
is the fundamental
a more
right.
coherent and there has to be a clearer response coming from the minister. In time, on time will happen. Don't worry. These are answers that your grandmother will give you. These are not answers that one expects from a minister, Anila Singh.
30,000 to 40,000 rupees
that you are concerned about the timing of the policy, timing of the... you are questioning about the timing of the policy or the timing of the result declaration. You said the timing of the eradication of the policy. So I told you the results will be in time. So students are not going to suffer. Please do not say like this that this government is not doing anything regarding education.
Can you define in time? What do you mean by, can you define that your timing?
Specific date.
Students should not suffer.
Well, I'm glad you realize that students should not suffer. Now, if you can turn those words magically into action, then we can make sure that the students don't suffer at all. Smita's on the phone line from Chennai. Smita, go ahead.
Yeah. Hello?
Yes, Smita, we can hear you. Yes.
Yeah, I just wanted to say that, the board and the government wants to do away with this moderation system. But are they at the same time going to ensure that, the cutoffs for the various colleges are going to be more realistic? Because, the state board results are all out and, colleges say they have more centums than number of seats. So where does they leave this CBSE student? I'm waiting with my daughter for the results and now we're like totally on tenterhooks. Like it's like the government has suddenly woken up from some deep slumber.
Smita, how is your daughter handling it? How is your daughter handling it?
No, she's also waiting. They're all like, all the students are very tense. They're really tense because the papers today they have got more centums in the state board than the number of seats. In arts colleges and commerce colleges. So, they're not going to wait for these CBSE students. And then to suddenly come with this moderation system, it should be...
Right. Smita, Ganesh is also on the phone line in Delhi. And we know Delhi University has some really, really shocking cutoffs. 98%, 97% for admission into Delhi University seats. How are these students going to manage? Ganesh, go ahead.
Yeah, see, like this is a ridiculous thing which I've seen from the last 2-3 years which CBSE is doing. They literally don't have the right people on board every time they play around with the career of the students. Last year there was 2 NEET exams because of Supreme Court. Last year the question paper was out on the NEET. And this year, in spite of people, 1.5 crore people giving the exams, they don't commit to a date. Heads should roll on CBSE. The minister should be responsible.
I agree.
Who is responsible? Who is accountable? We talk about a career of 1.5 crore people and they take it lightly. There is no commitment till date. What everyone is doing.
You know, and this is a really good point. This is a board that runs education that on its website says it's meant to create a child-friendly, student-friendly system and environment. There is nothing child or student-friendly about a system that doesn't simply say on the website when the results are going to come. If you were really student-friendly, you would put up a notice on the website saying it's not coming on the 21st, it's coming on the 25th or the 26th or the 27th. What explains the radio silence coming out of the CBSE board? You have a website, you know how to use it. Put up on the website a notice that these students can check. How does it make sense? How do they go to sleep every night? How do they wake up every morning not knowing whether or not their results are coming out while also studying for entrance exams? This is completely inhuman. Anirudh is on the phone line from Chennai. Anirudh, go ahead.
Yeah, ma'am. First of all, I have 4 points today. The first point being, we had a lot of ambiguity about the date. The point being, many students were actually waiting for the results to come today. I had many calls from many of my friends who just wanted to know whether the results were out. But considering the CBSE, considering we had such big flaws, the results couldn't be available to the people today. Point 2 being, the state boards of many states have announced their results and they have been astoundingly well. We have these students who have scored almost 98%, 97%. And now when CBSE comes out with a scheme for moderating these marks, so obviously CBSE students are going to lose out on moderation.
Right. Anirudh, there's a lot of frustration on our phone lines today, Avisha. There just seems to be so many people who are so upset.
I would like to touch to a fundamental question here. It's every year the government comes out with the last minute new policies. We talk about the equality and the different boards are here. So moderation policy basically came in because some boards are giving bigger marks. So spiking of marks is what is behind this moderation policy. But I wonder, why do we need to have so many different boards? One nation, one board is the most important thing what this government, the previous government also
Avisha,
I had suggested.
Avisha, if you make this suggestion now, you will send the people in the CBSE board into another tizzy of confusion.
No, I'm not saying
they're obviously not able to
I'm
process information, and at least the state board is out of this madness right now. If they were all under one board, under the same ministry, God knows what would have happened to all of our children.
If not for this year, but at least subsequent years, this should not happen. And they should take a decision
I would say let them take the decisions and not run to the courts. Okay. And secondly, please, for heaven's sake, realize the compound impact. They are not only waiting for the results, they are also worried about which entrance test, how to clear it, will they be able to get in, because most of these people who organize these entrance tests would also want your 12th result. Whereas the HRD ministry is still incapable of telling you an exact date. This is the date by which time we'll declare the results.
And you have already Vithika Rahul, is the problem the fact that the people who are running our system are not educationalists? They don't understand education.
Yes. That's the problem. That's the problem.
Yes, to some extent.
They don't understand the psyche of the students.
The thing is that it is very important to understand the psychology of the children, because it is not only the board result that is getting delayed. It is the entire year effort that they are looking at. They are looking for the board result. They're giving the NEET exam. There's so many things at one time they're exposed to.
And because of this, so many stimulation they're exposed to, their stress is increasing, and then exhaustion. I'm only scared about the exhaustion stage. If that comes, then what will happen? Because many children have reported to me that they are taking sleeping pills to sleep because they are not able to sleep. They have nightmares. They are getting nightmares at what? Especially children who have to give their they have to submit their report for foreign examination, for the foreign admissions. We can delay the deadlines for India, but what about foreign universities? They are saying that parents have taken a lot of educational loans and there is so much of financial crisis that they are going through. What if because of this result they are not getting admission there and the parents have already taken an educational loan for that? We have to understand it in totality. It is not only admission to a college, it is also admission to many other places for which lots and lots of aid, financial aid has been taken by the parents.
And mind you, it's not 1.5 crore of students alone. Their parents are also involved. So the figure really rises up.
Mr. Soni is on the phone line right now. Go ahead. I can hear you. Mr. Soni?
Yes.
Okay. Miss Soni, I'm sorry. Go ahead. I can hear you.
Okay, fine. Now, I wanted to ask the panelists sitting and discussing over there, like you all are talking about the timing of the result. But unfortunately, it is very, very unfortunate on the part of the students that they are no doubt they are very much anxious about the date of the result, but they are also very much anxious about the moderation marks. Nobody is talking about the moderation marks.
I did. You have not heard me. You have not heard me. I did say moderation.
No, madam. Actually, you are talking about our HRD minister is promising that you should have faith in them. That
they will the program from the beginning. No,
right. Okay. That's a fair point. Let me do this to the rest of the panelists. I want to give whatever time we have left on this show to Aditya and to Palak, who are actually going through this problem instead of sitting around and discussing it. Aditya, everybody's listening to you right now. What do you need at this point? Please tell the government what you want.
Actually, I'd just like to ask one thing, that how many times have... you just need to understand one thing. It's not just about how it affects our admissions. It's about how it affects our entrance papers. Basically, we're sitting all day. Like, we were told that it's going to come on 24th at least. I've been sitting, not just me, there are lots and lots of children who are just sitting, staring at the laptop screens, confused whether to study for their entrance test on Sunday or the day after, or, just sit and click refresh. Because there's no disclaimer, there's no important thing on the CBSE website. The latest news is all about NEET and everything. There's no updates in the website. So basically, it's not just about how how the marks are going to affect the admissions. Basically, it's about what it's doing to the children's mentality, because they're confused right now.
Yes.
All of us are confused whether we should sit and study or we should sit and wait for our results.
Palak?
So please tell me that...
Ask you a question. NEET is to CBSE, right? I recently gave my NEET. Now, I come to know that NEET may be cancelled and I may have to write a re-exam for it. And please tell me that if CBSE results are delayed, how do I expect my NEET results to come on time? Second thing is, won't you say that my CBSE results in some way affect my NEET results? And ultimately, even if you do release the results on time, it is us who is going to face a problem, not you. It is us whose admissions and whose careers are going to be affected. And many people are so anxious that people cannot focus on studies. They are just confused. Now many people are thinking of not giving the re-NEET exam also. One of my friends just today told me that she won't be able to study for NEET again. One of my friends is again happy. So there's a lot of confusion going around. Second thing is, many people take a drop. So people who are going on about moderation this year. CBSE, I used to like CBSE because it was very student friendly, but for the past 2-3 years, it's changing policies at the last moment. So can you guarantee that what policy you give this year will be followed next year? Because let's say that if you start giving grace marks next year, so people who take a drop this year will be having a problem next year. So why would they be wasting 1 year unnecessarily if you're going to, change your policies again at the last minute?
No, basically what I have to ask right now is that why can't CBSE do this one thing that, when a student wakes up in the morning, and he's decided that he has to do this much portion, or he has to do something else that's related to something that he's supposed to prepare for an entrance. Basically, why can't, when we log into the website, at least just give a guideline, at least just put a message that maybe the results might not come out today.
Exactly.
But basically, we are sitting there from morning till the evening or whatever time. I'm not from CBSE, like I just joined CBSE in 11th standard. I'm from ICSE. I never faced this problem before. And I've never even seen any of my seniors face this problem
I've
before.
been in a CBSE background since the time I was a kid. But you know, till my 10th standard, I never had a problem with CBSE. All of a sudden, when I enter my 11th, CBSE starts changing rules. So
this has happened in the last 2 years. So we've run out of time, but I want to thank both Palak and Aditya for coming in and sharing their stories with us, and I want to thank our panel. But this is true. The CBSE has been unpredictable and has been completely stress-inducing, the opposite of student-friendly for the last 2 years. And what you're doing right now is completely unforgivable. You possibly have another 24 hours. That's as much as you have to, in order to simply get your act together. The minister must step in, must put pressure on the board to just simply release the results. You cannot be changing the system at this point. These students have already answered their exams. Change the system next year, or either explain to us what the tearing hurry is for you to moderate the system or to change the system so late in the day. Just go ahead with the results and release the results. What you're doing every hour that you wait, every hour that you continue to go on without communicating is not good enough. You are causing stress, you are ruining lives, and this is not something that one expects from you. And these sort of answers coming out of the government soon will be done. We understand. Relax. Don't get worried. Like I said, these are answers one expects from your grandmother, not from a minister who is in charge right now of so many millions of students across the country. Take responsibility. Come out, commit a date, release the results. That's all you need to do. Anything else you can do after you take your summer vacation. Nobody needs to hear from you until then. Just release the results. That's what's expected of you. Any more delay, and we will realize that you're simply not up to the job. Heads must roll right now in the CBSE board. Thanks for watching.